Good afternoon, good night, or yeah, good night. This is a new thunder for In Alive. I'm glad that you're here with me today. We are talking today about Aboriginal elders and its definition and what it means to the indigenous beings of North America, uh, especially towards the people of the indigenous nations of North America. So, I did a little bit of a post earlier in terms of what it means about the indigenous Aboriginal elder or the elder in our society, and it's really getting important for us to have an understanding who they are, where they belong, and you know kind of get a real good understanding of what it's all about. Now, one of the things that we do here at In Alive is that we have a lot of discussions and talks dealing with the building of our society, building of our nations, building of our country. So this is part of the executive branch of the country of INA, which incorporates many different nations, communities, and alliances that are a part of the main Congress that has come together to formulate the indigenous nations of North America. So if you want to join, you can go to www.i-m-indigenous.org and you can become a supporter through the Patreon page, which is how we're able to keep these programs and everything that we do out there going. You are the tremendous amount of lifeblood. Lots of things that are going on around there, and we'll get into that on another show. There's going to be a conference call also within the next few days, probably this coming Sunday. Just wanted to throw that out there, let everybody know that. But this show is about the Aboriginal Elder and what it means to the indigenous beings of North America, of the Bronze Race. So we're going to try to provide some sort of a definition of the Aboriginal Elder and answer some of the specific questions that people have been asking us on our website and on our Facebook page, and even here at INA Live. So our intent here at INA is to work effectively with all indigenous beings of North America, of the Bronze Race, help training them and help giving them an understanding of who and what they are. So what makes someone an elder? Or is being an elder age specific? How should you address an Aboriginal elder? And we'll talk about a few things dealing with that. So it's important that we ask these questions. So what makes an elder? And again, it's different. The big challenge in answering the question is that not all communities are the same. And it really depends on the culture or community to define what makes an elder, right? So it's up to every individual nation, community, and alliance to determine what an elder is. But specifically as general, one thing in common, a trait amongst elders, especially Aboriginal or original indigenous beings, elders, is a deep spiritual connection, a soulful connection, and influences that every aspect of their life, right? So it's the way that they live in a soulful way, right? The spiritualness is the energy upon which they bring in. The soulfulness is the actual soul, the being of the person, and who they are and how they're living their lives out in front of everyone else. They strive to show by example, by living their lives according to the deep, ingrained principles and values of the teachings of the original indigenous ways. And this is one of the reasons why we have developed a historical council, which a lot of this information right now is coming from. This information, a lot of the information, getting this off of one of the blogs that I found on the internet, and it's given out a lot of information. But the historical council has also come up with a lot of information that I'm going to be sharing with you here. So Do you have to be a certain age to be an elder? And that's one of the things that a lot of people actually really talk about. Do you have to be a specific age? Is there, a specific type of format that you have to follow? So being an elder is not defined by age. That's one thing, right? But rather, elders are recognized because they have earned the respect of their community through wisdom, harmony, and balance of their actions and their teachings. In the indigenous nations of North America and who we are, right? An elder, sometimes people may refer to them as seniors, but an elder to me is a little different than a senior because it holds a little bit of a different place, right? A senior is more in age, an elder is more in spiritual, soulful awakening within inside of themselves. So we take a closer look at the importance and the effectiveness of this communication, right? Of how you communicate what an elder is, right? How you communicate it to your population as to what an elder and what you're going to be looking for in an elder. Can both men and women be elders? Being an elder is not gender specific. As in my own experience, I know both male and female elders, right? A female elder could be Chief Betty, right? Another elder could be Chief Yanash, right? Those could be elders in our community, which is extremely important for us to have an understanding that the respect of an elder, Reverend Mother, so to speak, is extremely important to the makeup of our total society and in the indigenous nations of North America. So, both men and women can be elders. Is the role of an elder the same everywhere you go across the country? While except roles of the elders may change from community to community, there are common principles that elders try to install in their community members, such as respect for the natural world and that of the earth is their mother, right? Their earth is their caretaker. Their earth is what is sustaining them and bringing them life, right? The Aboriginal elder, the indigenous being elder, are deeply committed to share their knowledge, privilege, guidance, and teaches others to respect the natural world and to learn to listen and feel the rhythms of the elements of the seasons. Well, of the elements and of the seasons. So it's very important for us to have that understanding that the elders are there to help guide you to a more soulful existence and have you an understanding as to why we have the principles around us and to keep that very principles that we live by and that we're being governed by instituted within our family units and our communities as we go along our life. Has the role of the elders changed over time? Well, that's very interesting because as we are truly awakening to ourselves, we're taking on a different connotation of what an elder is, because usually what we do is look as an elder as part of, how can I say it, of the Christian community, right? So in the Christian community, an elder is someone who's either ordained or has been put up front as an elder of the church, a deacon, a deaconess, right? Somebody of a religious figure. And here, we need to understand that these principles and definitions are taking on a different connotation as we begin to really redefine who we are as the Bronze Race, as real indigenous beings of this North America, of this earth. So we're getting a real sense of who we are as people. And in some communities, when families move apart, elders will travel to visit the family members in order to keep in touch and to prevent them from forgetting their connections, not only their connections with each other, but their connections to the earth, their connections to the principles upon which they're governed by. They are there to serve as a real good reminder of who and what we are as beings of people. So even the role of the elder themselves, as they get into it, you have to have patience, because we're redefining ourselves as we're coming out of this exile. We are reawakening our souls and reconnecting ourselves to a premise that has been long lost and just now reintroduced to all of us. And this is the reason why we say we are recreating the civilization. We're recreating the society. We are recreating an institution, recreating a system that we came out of before they came. And in this, we also are recreating the definitions and commissioning our elders in the truest sense when it comes to the connection of the earth, the connection of others, and the way that we're living, right? Some elders have formed, organizations, and they should form organizations, have regular meetings, and they also should probably have a website. We'll end up having an elder website, and I am in www.i-am-indigenous.org. We'll end up having an elder website where you can get to your elders, and you can ask questions of your elders, and have an elder society within the indigenous nations of North America. That will go hand in hand along with the Congress, and they will serve a very, very, very integral part in guiding us as to where we really need to be. So that's very important in terms of what the elders are. So what are the duties of the elders? And again, a lot of them will, as we begin to forming our whole entire society under our country, within our respective nations, in my experience, the duties includes of an elder today can include conducting smudges, sweats, prayers, opening prayers, participating in protocol at meetings and events, counselings, sweetgrass ceremonies, and negotiations, to name just a few. They're also very important for conducting, marriages, and a lot of things dealing with, meditations, right, and prayers. So, elders, in a very good sense, also help to be able to pass judgment in councils and courts and stuff like that. And this is the reason why we'll have an elder council, in order for us to be able to make sure that we have some checks and balances, that we're going on the right direction. This is all a part of the alliance formation paperwork that respective nations and people get, and alliances get, when they sign on. So it's called the Articles of Confederation. Excuse me. So when an elder is invited to conduct an opening prayer or smudge, what is the customary honorarium, and how does one find that out? Now, this is important, because one of the things that propelled me to make this video right now is that I was reading on Facebook a lot of angry people, or some angry people, for some of the younger people who, again, are rising up and don't have a lot of patience. That they wanted to smack some elders in the face, punch them in the face, because they felt the elders are getting disrespect for whatever the situation is. So as we are reforming ourselves and our mindsets, we must remember that we must have patience. Patience not only with ourselves and how we are developing, but patience in the development of our relationships with one another. Remember, everything must be done in peace. Everything must be done in a manner to where it's going to involve love and a soulful piece of being amongst each other. This is the reason why INA has been created, is to begin that courtship between all of the different nations coming together under one Congress, and making sure that we all have one voice and speak with one voice, to the world. So our elders, as they're becoming our ambassadors to, from one nation to another nation, and to us, to the other systems of the world, we are going to have to be patient as we begin to start rising up the new ideas and new it's not new, but the re-ideas of what the elders are and how they're supposed to take place. So in our area in Mounts, it varies, but elders do get compensated for their travel. They should, and their time, and they should, just like everybody should, right? This is the reason why we're asking, you to invest in INA and go to our Patreon page, patreon.com/INA. Go there and take a read. And we're asking people to invest so then that way we'll be able to support the Elder Council and their programs, just like we'll be able to support the Congress and the programs that are going to be coming up from there, and also support the building of a capital, which will be in Memphis, Tennessee. You have to determine which nations, traditions, lands you're in, and then contact the office of the nation and ask if they can suggest an elder and the amount of the customary honorarium, right? So please find out those protocols from those nations for more complete information. And again, as we develop the indigenous.org website, we're going to start listing all the different nations and a lot of their protocols and events and a lot of the things that they're doing, etc. And as we're building the nation's capital, we will have a spot for each and every. I don't know why that came up, but look at that. Let's get out of this. Thank you for everything live is crazy, right? So I don't know, weird stuff is happening. I think the computer's listening to me, but so in the development, in the building of the indigenous nations of North America, for all of the nations in this country, what we're doing is we're developing that capital. And as we build that capital, we are going to make sure that we have buildings on there to be able to have a place for the Congress to be able to meet, for the Elder Council to be able to meet, for the Reverend Mothers, the mothers of all of the nations, for them to be able to meet. We're going to have a place for every nation in order for them to be able to have their offices. So this is what's going on. So this is the reason why your support is going to be necessary as we begin to start opening up this Patreon page, so that you can be able to donate and be able to support and invest in your people. So are other gifts welcome and accepted? There are 4 sacred plants that are customary. There may be others as we begin to start having an understanding of who and what we are. But tobacco, sweetgrass, sage, and of course cedar, a gift of one of the 4 sacred plants, is seen as recognition of wisdom and can be shared. In some other cultures, tobacco is not used in ceremony, right? So there you have with that. So that's very important for you to have that understanding. How should we address elders, and should we use just their names or add elder in front, as in Elder Alice will now conduct an opening prayer? Be prepared to adjust your volume and speech. Be wary of too much eye contact. And again, this is all about respect and having respect. So beware of shaking hands, as outlined in the article. Shaking hands, that's going to be coming out, shaking hands with Aboriginal people. That's more of a European type situation. What do you do for fist pump, whatever? But we'll get into all of those things. But be sure to address them as elder, right? Elder Betty, right? Elder Yanash, when the time comes for that, instead of just their first name. Show high respect and be sure to ask the consent before photographing or video recording any ceremonial thing. So, getting into that, I just wanted to just let you know that, again, what we're forming here is a very serious, a very professional attitude of respect for not only one another and not only for our elders, but for us as beings as a whole, to bring back our soulful beings that we need in order for us to be able to respect our women, our children, our men, and for us to be able to put ourselves back in line to where we need to go in terms of how we are actually establishing ourselves as nations, alliances, and communities in the indigenous nations of North America and our country. So, if you're looking for some more, free resources to support your goals, to learn more about the indigenous peoples, check out our free resource page, which we're developing as we're going, on www.i-m-indigenous.org, which is very, very important. You can also go to the African Americans Ain't African page. That's going to be very important. And then as we begin to start, as the Historical Council really gets itself rolling, you'll be able to have a lot more in that, and that will become the actual real resource page as the Historical Council gets on its way. So go to www.im well, let me say it again, www.i-m-indigenous.org, and check out the Historical Council and what they're putting together of our people. A lot of it's done by pictures, and it's very good, very great for you to be able to see. So I'm going to end it there. There's a lot more information coming. I'm very excited to be doing the things that I'm doing. My name is Anu Thunder, the Chief of State of the Indigenous Nations of North America, executive branch of the country. And I am thrilled to work with each and every one of you. I am happy that you are understanding the necessity of support. So we're looking for those first 500 supporters to actually invest in the country of Inna, so that way we can get out there, help Flint, Michigan, help those people over there in Chicago, where the president is thinking about. People are asking over there to bringing forces. We are the forces that need to go in there to help our own people. They help the people over there in Memphis, Tennessee. They're under a tremendous amount of fire over there. Help the people over there in Baltimore. Detroit. There's people all New York. All different areas of New York. Halato to all those people out there, indigenous people over there in New York, in the area that I'm from. There's a lot of people who are in Phoenix, Arizona, that have no connection to the actual main source of people who are indigenous. So there's a lot of people over there in Oregon, right? California, or the Cali people. And, we have descendants everywhere. So, support the Indigenous Nations of North America by going to our Patreon page, patreon.com/INNA. That's all you have to put in there, and become an Indigenous and an Indigenous Nations of North America investor and invest. It's only for $25. That's all you have to put in there. And every person that does invest, if they are of Indigenous heritage, you would get a certificate of citizenship when you get in there. You also get an Indigenous of North America shirt, and you'll also get a card. But the money, most importantly, will be going towards developing the executive branch and developing the capital, and also helping a lot of places by us going into those places and providing assistance. Chief Betty needs a lot of assistance down there. Some of the places, the Coosa Nation is under fire down there. A lot of people need help over there. Chief Skyhand down there in Memphis as well. A lot of his people are under fire down there. You have Chief Yanash. He has over 80 acres or whatever. They need some assistance because they're trying to take their property. So developing all of this, we need to get to a point as to where we can first stave off the attacks that they're giving us, and then move forward in demanding our whole entire national country back, plus our protection zones. This is a new thunder. The head of state of INA, who works for you and for the Congress of the Indigenous Nations of North America. I'm glad that you were able to be here today and see the historic things that are going on. Go on to the website again and send us a message on our admin email page. If you want to join the Historical Council, please do that. If you're interested in formulating a nation on how to do that, we will be able to do that. We are our own separate government. And again, like I said, this coming Sunday, we will be having a major conference call for anyone who wants to know anything about the Indigenous Nations of North America and how they're able to support and move our people forward. It's good to be educated, but it's also great to be protected by your own country and to live inside of your own country and your own borders and have protection on there too, and to be represented by one voice of us all coming together as one. So, there's a lot to learn, a lot to figure out when you're talking about a lot of these elders and a lot of governmental type setups and a lot of the different divisions that we are setting up. It's complicated to a lot of people, and a lot of people can't see the full vision as of yet. But we did put out a very nice video. African Americans and Africans, welcome to the Indigenous Nations of North America. Look that up. Take a look at that. You can see part of the vision there. And especially to pay attention to the ending of that video, which is very important. And you'll be amazed as to what we have planned. A lot of the places where our people live now, once our nation really starts getting going, it's not just a nation, our country. We're going to be creating units of 200,000 people apiece. And we're going to be spreading them out in the way that our ancestors did before they came here. We're going to really be reestablishing who we are. And it is very, very, very great. Thank you. Appreciate you. Love you all. Keep up the good work. I'll be out there very soon again to meet the people out there. As I was out there just a few weeks ago in New York. I was out there in where was else? The Bronx, Long Island. Was out there in Baltimore, speaking to people down there, and then all around the Memphis area. I gotta have to have another show about the Memphis area because they got this mural up there, which is crazy. Just crazy, but that's a story for another day. Okay, I'm going up on the 30-minute mark for this one. This is a long one, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you get something out of it. Again, visit the website, www.i-mindigenous.org for more information as how you can support. Also support African Americans and Africans, support them as well, and support every one of the Indigenous Nations of North America, because what we're doing is formulating an economic consortium amongst our own people, and we're going to be unplugging from this whole entire society, hopefully within 3 to 4 years' time. And again, it's a vision that a lot of people cannot see, but this flag behind you and the symbols that you see over here are something that is rising. And we are going to succeed as beings of people, as the bronze race, as copper-colored people, as the real original indigenous people of North America. Have a great day. Have a good night. Be safe out there, everyone. Love you all.